Yeah, just Sveno Mick here. Look, just out at a secret location. I'm not going to say where it is. I'm just been out doing a bit of exercise. Don't really want people coming anywhere near the place. Beautiful spot. I was out in this particular area with my dad in the late 1960s, early 1970s. This is where I first got to have a drive of Dad's Land Rover. I had to, he shifted the dozer, and he had to take the dozer up to build a ramp up in the bush, and I had to drive a short wheelbase ragtop Land Rover along behind him up a bit of a hill and that, and I just thought it was massive. But this is mountainous country here, hard country. Looking at a little stump there. So Dad logged all this. This was logged and carted to Tesh Brothers Sawmill at Witta. So this drops off extremely steep. And we used to camp out here many years after this in this particular spot, the Maleny Trail Bike Club, and we had a lot of fun. And anyone that was out here that remember, the camp was the great put the fire out fiasco between George Moffat and Jim Cork, two local blokes that had garages each and were in competition. And George was worried, and they're as drunk, pissed as parrots. And we were all camping. We were, at the particular time, we were probably 13, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14 years of age. They're probably closer to 14 than 12, actually. Anyhow, you see over here the stumps. This is very steep country. And I probably can't get down over the side to show you, but you go over into farming land over there, and it's down through an extremely steep gorge. But anyhow, the firewood fiasco, little stumps here that have been cut since Dad was here. I reckon this here, because this is such hard grown country, I would say this could be one of the stumps. And I do remember him winching in steep country here. And I'll tell you about the firewood fiasco in a minute. But a lot of grass trees here everywhere. This is hard country. Now, like I said, that drops over very steep over there. And we had a hill climb up this particular area, but I can't for the life of me remember where it was, but none of us got up. We could come in on the bottom side of it, and we had go after go. My brother was on an XT500 C model. Can't remember what I was on. I potentially say I was on my IT, sorry, not my IT, my TY175C. Billy Lusk, he would have had a TL of some description, probably Honda. But this is a beautiful little spot. All I wanted to say is, anyhow, on this firewood fiasco, putting out the fire, we could hear shh, shh, shh. And there was just a few blokes sitting up, Jim being one and George being another, and we're all nodding off. Next minute they're breaking into an argument, and they're nearly in a punch-up over. George was pouring beer on the fire to put the fire out because he's worried about it catching on fire, and Jim was telling him he shouldn't be wasting beer. And I do believe it was a bit of a competition between the two garage proprietors. George owning Wilson's Garage that had been there many years, and Jim and Jane Cork owning Cork's Garage in the middle of town, which I'm going to do a story one shortly and show you actually where it is. I can hear a machine working down there. That is steep. It's farming country down there. I'm not actually exactly sure where that backs up to here, but it's bloody steep country. And you can see here is that rocky ridge down there. And I got a feeling the hill climb might have been just back that way a little bit, or just back that way. But I've come to the end of a track there, so it was definitely down around this area. But we didn't have Buckley's chance of none of getting up. But the firewood, the great fire, putting out the fire fiasco was funny. Bill and I look back on those treasured times. You know, we're never going to repeat those times, because growing up in the 70s was a special time in my opinion, because we still had a lot of freedoms. And just looking at this fair stand of blackbutt there, reasonably big blackbutt. There's a lot of ukes here everywhere. I won't spend much time in here because it's blowing pretty well steadied up at the moment. A lot of box trees. Box trees seem to like hard country. They're just everywhere here. So not good stands of trees. A lot of grass trees. There's another tree that bloody flourishes in hard country. We used to call them black boys when we were kids. We didn't know any of the different. They're not that anymore. They're now grass trees. Aboriginals or Indigenous people to Australia. I think they're seen it as an insult. But this would be good yowie country too. But all stumps through here. I don't know if you can see them. One over there, reasonable size. It's been a pretty wild cut over there by the look of that. Here's one here, another one over there. I remember spending time out here with Dad. I remember the big drive of the mighty Land Rover. And I absolutely loved my time growing up as a kid. It was very treasured, very treasured. Not that my dad and I were that close, but we were close when we used to spend time out in the bush. Now there's logs all down through there that have been dropped. And this would only be logged, well, it wouldn't be logged anymore. There's a reasonable sized stump there, but once you start snigging on that steep stuff, you've got to have your wits about you. But this one here is probably 3 foot through. And I think this would only been logged a few times since the white fellas come here. And since Europeans. But I'm doing a bit of exercise out here. So I thought to myself, I'm going to come for a quick run out here, get out of that lockdown in my house. It's not very far from home, under 10 kilometres, and just have a look around. And I just want to do a quick story, but we camped out here, and my older sister Helen, Johnny Maleny, my brother-in-law, which is married to Helen. I can't remember if Kel was there. I think Skin Cork. Poor Brad, he was here. Brad and I were doing wheel stands, and he was good at wheel standing. I could wheel stand good, and so could he. Poor Brad's deceased now. He met himself a bit of a grief under his own steam. But good bloke, bloody good bloke. I had a lot to do with all the Cork family. But look, I'm going to leave it at that. I just wanted to get out and just do one here. And I thought, never hard to come out into this area anymore. Because it's, like I say, I can hear some noise. I don't know what it is. I hope it's not a bloody yowie trying to look at me. But this would be good yowie country or good UFO country. But I look at what Dad and that had is in the 60s and the 50s working here in the timber. In the 1950s, 1960s, Dad was a contractor in the 50s for Rainbirds, as in he was the machine operator for them. And in the 60s and 70s, he had his own business with the D68U. I still remember the serial number, but we won't go there. D68U8161 or D68U8163. I can't remember which serial number it was. I think it was 8163. It was Dad's, and Campbell Green had D68U8161, believe it or not. And they both come to the Sunshine Coast. Early 50s model machines, and that's pretty astounding, I think. But I can hear a machine working over there. And Jeffrey, the ex-brother-in-law, and that always used to argue. I say, my dad's had more power than your dad's. Oh, no. Ours has been modified. We've opened up our injector pump. We've done this, we've done that. I said, yeah, but Bus Swenson's, my dad was a bloody good operator. So was his dad in here. Jeffrey and Ronnie were both good operators. But, or both still are good operators. But look, I'm going to leave it at that. It's all little timbers all growing up through there. There's nothing really that big here. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to download this. And it's going lock back up for me. And I just enjoyed coming out here and getting a bit of exercise in this particular area. It's not that far from town at all. Not many people probably even know this area. But I'm going to leave it at that. Sveno Mick from Sveno Mick. Sveno Mick out.